I woke up and I checked my phone and boom, 17K in revenue in 3 hours. Good morning, everybody. So, today I want to tell you guys about how I made $17,000 in 3 hours. Right now, when I say $17,000, it wasn't all profit, it was sales, but the profit was about $8,000 USD, which is almost about 11,000 Canadian, which was pretty damn good. Now, before I get into this story, I want to kind of talk about where I was, how old I was when this all happened. I was 16 years old and I knew that I wanted to make money online somehow, right? So I did the most famous search that you can do when learning about how to make money online. You just go to the Google search bar and you type in how to make money online fast, right? So I was just going through the web pages searching for things, but I noticed one common thread, and that was e-commerce. E-commerce was on all of these lists. Now, when you are getting into e-commerce, there are two paths you can go down. You can either go down Shopify path or you can go down Amazon FBA. Now, I decided that I was going to go down Amazon FBA route because I didn't necessarily know that much about starting ads and starting a store and just all this shit, right? So, when starting an Amazon store, you need to have a little bit of capital up front. So, it's kind of riskier than actually doing drop shipping. So I put down the money. I ordered so much inventory to Amazon FBA warehouses. It was probably like tens of thousands of dollars that I was just kind of doing. But by the way, let me just also say this. I started this whole empire with $1,000. Okay, I had $1,000. That's all I needed, because I would order 25 units, 50 units just to test the product out. And when we're talking 50 units, right, it sounds crazy, but 50 units at like, I don't know, I think it was like $2 a piece, right? So you're at $100. So it's crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's really not all that bad. It's more the shipping is where they get you. Anyways, that's besides the point. So I was testing countless products. I want to say that I tested about 25 products. And honestly, I found one that worked. And it was, actually, I'm not going to say the product because it's such a good product. Actually, fuck it, I'll just say it. It was vinyl. It was heat transfer vinyl for shirts and whatnot. So that product sold very good on Amazon. It was selling very good on its own, right? I was doing what's called Amazon advertising, which is a PPC model, which I'm not sure if you guys are too aware of. There's the auction model like Facebook where you bid for that spot. And then there's the PPC model where you pay per click. So every time somebody clicks on your website, your product, then Amazon will charge you for it. That's how I started doing my advertising with Amazon, right? So it was doing really well, selling on its own, and then I was eligible for this thing called a lightning deal, right? Now, I'm not too sure if you guys get the notifications for lightning deals, but they can be very juicy, right? So a lightning deal is either when you want to liquidate something or blow it out fast, right? And thankfully, I was able to charge liquidation prices and still quadruple my money on the product, right? So I could charge liquidation prices for that and actually make a massive profit when it's sold. So I used to buy these spots like crazy because it was actually the cheapest exposure that you could get with Amazon, right? So with the PPC, you pay per click and it can get very expensive, right? Now, when you are doing the lightning deal, it's $100 for 4 hours, I believe, 3 or 4 hours, right? And so I would just go and buy all these spots for days, weeks, months in advance, right? So there was this one time where I hit it perfectly. The timing was just right, and it was, I believe, in the morning, right? So it was going from, I think it was like 3 a.m. to like, I don't know, 7 a.m. or so. It was somewhere around that time when people are just waking up and they do the scroll on their phones, right? So I was still asleep. So imagine my surprise when waking up. So I was still asleep, and then I woke up and I checked my phone, and boom, 17K in revenue in 3 hours. I literally couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I refreshed my phone and the sales were just pouring in. Like every time I refreshed my phone, I just sold another 20 units. It was insane. It was just coming in so fast, and I was like, this is wild. Like my whole inventory was just depleted after that. It was basically gone, right? So I'm on the phone with my guy in China trying to actually get a whole load right up after that, right? Because basically what happens whenever you run out of storage with Amazon FBA, they don't like that. They like when there is more inventory coming on the way, right? And basically there's no gaps. There's no period where there is no inventory. They like to have that inventory in and out, in, out, in, out. A nice, well-oiled system, right? So I was freaking out to say the least. Like I was excited yet a little bit anxious because I did not have any inventory coming behind that. So once the money was deposited in my account, I was instantly like, listen, we got to get at least 500 or 600 rolls in the air over here. Like I'm not doing this slow boat. I can't do this. I can't afford to do that. So I needed to get at least 500 rolls in the air that night in order to be at the Amazon fulfillment center by, I think it was like a Wednesday, right? So I needed that quick turnaround time. And my guy was there, right? He said, yes, we hear you 100%. So he fulfilled the 500 like within, I want to say like 4 hours. He had it picked, packed, and then shipped out all within about a 6-hour window. And it was on a plane over to Austin, Texas, where it would then be sorted out and distributed all across America for Amazon warehouses, right? When I think about it, it's actually crazy, right? So it was about 8K profit USD, which is about 11K for me because I'm Canadian. So once you exchange the money, it's like $11,000 in 3 hours, which is very good for a kid that is 16 years old, right? So that was pretty insane. That was very insane. So what did I do with all that money? Well, first thing I did was I went and got a fresh tank of gas. Yes, wild. I didn't go ball out, get an AP or a Rolex, I went, filled up all my gas on my car, and I just reinvested all of that back into the business, buying more rolls, buying more spots. So I could basically do that almost every day, right? Like I knew it was temporary, and I knew I had to turn that into a more consistent basis, right? Because who doesn't want 17K a day, right? Obviously. So that is essentially my story on how I made 17K in 3 hours. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.